Monday edition of Second Floor Sports.
Bright and early. Someone was working like out on Hudson Street this morning, 8 a.m. Power tools, trucks backing up. Really, just great start to my day.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Have you left the house today? At least by me, like it's pouring. I haven't left the house all day.
It was like kind of gray this morning. I had my breakfast like out on the porch, but otherwise, no.
I woke up and it was just pissing rain.
Love it. Let me look. I actually can't really even see like outside from my room because where it is in the house. I also have like the tapestry over the window, but it's like I just look like directly into like a unfinished porch and then like the backyard. And just like don't get any light. So I was like, yeah, I can put a tapestry up. It's fine.
I don't get any light. I'm a hermit crab.
I am.
Monday shows recording at 4 p.m. Usually all football. That is not
today.
In case you're unaware, the NBA Finals finished yesterday. Ben, we're both geniuses because we were the only people ever.
Yeah, people really weren't picking the Lakers to win the title this year,
especially not in 6.
LeBron doesn't have any more of this. Like this Antonio guy is like, whatever. Yeah, this Antonio guy. I don't know where that came from.
What are you talking about?
Literally, such a. I'll start it off. What a disappointing Game 6. Like, what a fucking letdown of a game to end like a sick finals on.
Yeah, like, I feel like it's the story of the series.
Is it, though?
It was still a good series, but
any series that goes 6, I feel like you can't call like underwhelming or like disappointing.
It was underwhelming considering what it could have been.
In that context, given what it could have been, but then like even with Bam and Goran out, like Jimmy Butler literally turned in one of the best finals performances we've ever seen. Became the first guy, and we'll get into all the numbers, but like became the first guy to lead his team in a finals series in like points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, field goal percentage, like all that since LeBron's 2016 loss to the Warriors.
Yeah.
Or the 2015-2016 loss to the Warriors. Nice. Love it, Nolan. Love it. But I mean, like, I just remember there was one sequence, like, towards the end of the second quarter, like 3 minutes left, like, I think it was from like 5 minutes down to about 3 minutes. And I remember watching, there's like, Lakers would score, get a stop, block. It's just like, and you're just watching, you're like, all right, this game's over. Obviously the Lakers came out hot in the first quarter, but I was like, okay, it's Game 6 of the finals. Like, the Heat aren't just going to roll over here. They've made it this far. Goran Dragic was playing even. And then just like halfway through the second quarter, if you're watching, you're just like, yeah, no, this is a wrap.
I mean, he might as well not have been playing. Like, it didn't add anything. He's obviously not himself. Bam was like 70% of himself.
Yeah, Bam actually looked a lot better than I expected him to look, honestly.
But still, like, he wasn't 100%.
No, obviously not like the full Bam Adebayo that we saw in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah. From like I think in the second quarter, like midway through, the Lakers had like an 8-point lead, and I don't think they lost the lead after that. Like, it was over. I didn't expect to be watching baseball by like 9:15 yesterday, but and I still watched the whole game. But yeah, I mean,
I had the baseball on. Like, I was keeping track on my phone. I was watching the whole finals game.
Yeah.
Like, well, come on, like
I'm gonna watch basketball until
complete wash and the Lakers, win the game, obviously, which is what happened. Or the Heat make some insane comeback, and I would have shot myself if I didn't see it. Like,
it didn't feel like they were ever going to. I mean, that game felt over. I think Jimmy, and like we've been giving a lot of credit to him and for Jimbo Butler.
Jimmy
but
Beans.
He had nothing left in the tank yesterday. He had
absolutely
4 points through like 2 quarters. I think there was nothing.
Well, and also I don't think it's a coincidence that last night was the best the Lakers defense had looked all series long.
And they looked good. I mean, they had like 81 points.
Not saying they looked bad, but I'm saying like, during the regular, if you can flash back to like a year ago this time when we were watching, the Lakers played the regular season, which is just so funny too. The fact that literally a whole calendar year has elapsed.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess maybe not this time at the beginning of the season, but like, middle of the NBA season, you looked at the Lakers defense and there had some games where they looked like they did last night where it's just like, oh my God, like you are not touching these guys at all.
Yeah.
It's like, I told you I couldn't speak today. There's so few
Not
times,
a good sign if we're doing a podcast.
There's so few times where it's like, you really see an NBA defense be like, so like dominant and like suffocating. And the Warriors last night, or the Warriors. I was gonna mention like the Warriors death lineup. So they had stretches where they would be like that level of like dominant defensive, like just like humiliate and embarrass the other team. Like the Lakers defense last night was just the best defense I'd seen them play all postseason, honestly. If you could isolate like one game to really pick apart and say like this was their best defensive, and yeah, I'm eye test. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but just in terms of like their ability to just shut down everything. I mean, how many shots do you think the Heat put up last night? Again, I just eye test. I don't have the numbers in front of me. How many shot attempts do you think the Heat had with like under 5 seconds on the shot clock?
A lot.
It seemed like every other possession they were trying. They had to put something up with 4 seconds on the shot clock, 3 seconds.
Well, they put Caruso in the starting lineup yesterday, and
took him long enough. Yeah, that's 2020, but like really, it took you that long to get Dwight Howard out of the starting lineup?
I mean, we went over this our last episode. Like AD and Dwight just were not playing well against this.
And you and I have disagreed a lot about Dwight Howard's role with the Lakers. Kind of like the second round.
Yeah, well, look, it's really just like Dwight Howard is not a good enough player to justify him always being in the starting lineup, but stylistically against some teams, it does work. And look, I mean, it's not like I was the only one.
No, obviously,
yeah. Starting Dwight Howard to start the series was not a bad idea. Take Bam away, and it did work a little bit. But the Heat are too good of a team, and Spoelstra's too good of a coach. Eventually, going a little smaller with Caruso as the answer. He was fantastic yesterday. Rajon Rondo was fantastic yesterday.
What else did you expect from the best player on the Los Angeles Lakers in a title clinching game? Caruso's going to show up, obviously.
We can talk a little bit about the game, but really, what we're here to talk about is what this means for everyone on the Lakers.
I'd like to talk more than a little bit about the game. I mean,
yesterday was a wash. I'm
giving you a hard time. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolute, just such a letdown of like a final game.
Yeah.
Like what really has been like an incredibly exciting series. Once the Heat won Game 5, like you couldn't help but look at it and be like, well, shit. Like they just need one. You just need one to get to a Game 7. Like
Bam's back. Like Goran might be back soon. Like damn, like they can make some noise here. But at the end of the day, it came down to like LeBron needs to take a little bit of a rest on or off the court. Like turn the keys of the car over to AD, and there's no real drop off. You do that with Jimmy Butler on someone else, and it's like Bam needs to improve his scoring.
Bam's also like
23.
The way we're talking about Bam right now, it just speaks volumes to the type of growth he's had over the last season. Like,
I mean, let's not forget, like Miami wasn't supposed to be here this year.
At the beginning of the season, what would you have mentioned Bam Adebayo to me on like a 30 most important players list?
No,
I don't think I would have brought him up.
Ceiling wise, he might have been on there. But have been.
You know, the type of article you see, like first week of the season, like the 30 most important NBA players of the season. I don't think you would have yet found Bam Adebayo anywhere on that list.
No. It was a disappointing game, but like it's still a very enjoyable series, very enjoyable season. The bubble. I mean, Adam Silver, like you got to tip your cap. Like no positive COVID cases. Like it's crazy. Like.
Well, we were just talking about this before we started recording. The NBA and Adam Silver gave every bubble worker $1,000 bonus. I think gave them the next 4 Fridays off, and then gave them the entire week of Thanksgiving off.
Yeah. Well, also because like they're not gonna. We might not have basketball till like March. Like,
but it's just the exact right move. I mean, we talked about from the beginning of the bubble. Like it looked like the NBA was kind of providing the blueprint for how other leagues were going to handle the whole situation. I can't believe there wasn't a single COVID positive. That's absurd.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And not only, it was best of both worlds because not only was there no like positive cases, but also like we got funny stories, right? Like Rashawn Holmes going to get food, like Daniel House, like might have had a nurse or someone like going back to his room. Like,
well, that was like the biggest controversy. I think that was probably like the most like serious issue that they saw. Because we never really, unless I just missed it, we never really got to the bottom of that, did we? NBA Twitter.
No, they cleared him. They cleared him of all charges because they said it wasn't him. They just thought it was him. It was someone, but I don't think anyone really got in trouble.
I don't know. The conspiracy theory in me says.
Yeah, they wanted the Rockets out because they needed the rights in China to stream the game.
I wasn't gonna go there. Wow.
Well, that was the big conspiracy. Is that they're like, okay, right now we're thinking like it's Houston Lakers and like
put
they
the tinfoil hat on right now.
Yeah, they can't. Well, that was the conspiracy. It was look, it's Houston and LA. They can't watch LA play right now in China, and the biggest player easily in the league is still LeBron. So if the Rockets continue in the playoffs, they're not going to stream those games. So like we got to get them out of here. That was the conspiracy theory, which no, but
Sure.
it was interesting.
It's really funny. I'm just remembering, like, probably right around a year ago today, I probably was sitting in my like contemporary issues and pro sport class talking about like the whole NBA China debacle. Probably I did like a presentation on it that week.
That was
for my,
this year. That was the season.
that was I'm thinking like probably about a year ago this time, like early mid-October, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because they were LA. The Lakers were playing out in China against the Nets, and they had to like
Because
cancel
that was like
game.
end of September, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I gotta look this up now. This is too funny.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. It's been a long season, man. I mean, Deion Waiters eating the gummy, like that was this season.
Okay, I see it. There's an article from October 23rd kind of highlighting everything. So probably not quite a year from today, but like
essentially a year.
Yeah, exactly. October of 2019. Here we are, October of 2020, talking about how the Lakers just won the NBA title yesterday.
Before we
that'll break the internal clock.
Yeah. Obviously, before we get to, the two most important players and what that means for the legacy in AD and LeBron, just real quick, I wanted to touch on and see what you thought about some of the like role players on the Lakers, right? Because like Rondo has now won 2 titles with the Celtics and the Lakers, which is
second player
crazy.
to ever do that, which is kind of cool.
Pretty crazy.
First since it was like the 50s,
like the Minnesota,
Lakers. The Minnesota Lakers.
I think it's just like there's just a lot of like really interesting pieces because like obviously no one's paying attention to like the player that JaVale McGee is, and he hasn't. It's not like he is like really. I'll say this with like earned with quotation marks. Obviously he's earned it, but he has 3 titles. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Again, right? Like he's obviously
James Jones also went to 6 straight NBA finals. I mean,
at least JaVale McGee's played a little more. JaVale McGee started like 60 games in the regular season.
Yeah, that's true.
But again, he's not the reason they won. Is what I'm saying.
Talking about, piggybacking is a word that comes to mind.
Fair. JaVale has 3 titles. It was awesome. I mean, Dwight Howard was going to make the Hall of Fame anyway, but it's awesome to see him win a title.
You said that with a lot of confidence.
He's 100% going to make the Hall of Fame. He's like a 3-time.
You think he's the first ballot Hall of Famer?
I didn't say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's.
You said the Hall of Fame with a lot of confidence for a guy.
But he is 100% a Hall of Famer. But I don't think he'll be a first ballot.
I think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's like a dead set lock to make the Hall of Fame.
I'd be willing to.
I think he's got a really interesting case for a guy who was like the best center in the league for the first for a good 4 or 5 year stretch, and then disappeared for another 5 years.
He's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's an 8-time.
Look, I don't want to have a Dwight Howard Hall of Fame debate today. For another show.
Yeah, fair. All I'm gonna say, I'm not having a debate, but if you take his name out of it, all you think of 5-time rebound champion. He's an NBA champion.
He says we're not going to have a debate, and then starts to just rattle off his points.
Okay,
I'm not going to respond because I don't want to have this debate right now. But go for it. Go for it.
5-time rebound champion, NBA champion, 5-time All Defensive, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 8-time All NBA, 2-time block champion, and 8-time All Star. Just you have JaVale. Okay, I'm done with Dwight Howard. You have JaVale. You have Dwight Howard, Rondo. Like really interesting people that you wouldn't have thought were going to win a championship with the Lakers, and then also Deion Waiters, right? Like
Deion,
he got
Jared Dudley.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Also, so mad. Like LeBron absolutely could have brought Melo to the Lakers and gotten Melo a ring, but he decided to go with Jared Dudley.
I'm sorry you're mad about that. I don't know what to
Look, man, I just need anywhere where I can just squeeze in a little bit of Melo love, I will.
The problem with Melo is that Jared Dudley's not good. You didn't have to play Jared Dudley. You would have had to play Melo. And that might have been a problem for you.
We saw what Melo did in Portland. Like Melo was not a bad piece. I think he was playing
then he got exposed.
He would have been playing more than he should. He was playing more than he should have in Portland. But I think you put him on that Lakers team where he just 17 minutes a night just trying to get offense when LeBron and AD are off the floor. I think you could fit him into a role like that. Maybe he goes there next season. I don't know. That's not what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
And the Lakers role players, it's just another instance of LeBron being able to elevate the guys around him.
Yeah.
Do I think any of the Lakers role players are anything special? No. Outside Caruso, I think has potential to be like a 6th man type of valuable contributor on a good, basically the role he was with the Lakers. But I think he could do that, not playing with LeBron and AD. I think you put him in a similar situation where he's one of your go-to bench pieces. I think he thrives in that type of role.
Well, Caruso's an interesting piece. He's really young still. He's still less.
Not that you would know from looking at him.
Yeah, right. Well, he's like 26, like
Yeah,
27.
he's not a kid, but he's
Yeah, he's not old, but he's not young. Caruso's an
not old.
interesting
He's
piece.
not young. What is he, Matias? If he's not old and not
Right,
young,
a 27-year-old in his like second season, like that's not young.
so he's not old. He's not young.
Because you know what his ceiling is. Like
Is he the
you know
youngest man
what.
alive?
Is he what? The
The
youngest man?
youngest man alive?
Not to my knowledge. I don't know where
I'm
you're
just
coming
stuck
for
on
this.
what does that mean? He's not young. He's not. So what does that make him?
He's literally right in the middle. He's like 20. He's 27 years
He's
old.
26. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's not young. Like he's not 22, 23, but he's not old. He's not
So he's
over
middle
30.
aged.
He's middle aged.
He's NBA middle aged.
He's NBA middle aged while also looking like a 55-year-old man. He literally looks like my math teacher from the 10th grade, Mr. Finn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Also shout out Quinn Cook. I know you put this on here. It was hilarious. He got left at the gym. That's hilarious.
How? Literally, I like put a whole set
there.
I can't believe you stole my thunder there. First of all,
I said you put it on there. You put it on there.
I had like a whole thing. I had a whole thing. I was going to line up.
Oh, yeah, you want to rewind? You can.
Well, no, I was going to do that at the end of the segment. Whatever, it's fine. Quinn Cook got left at the gym.
It's like so funny.
How?
It's so funny.
Oh my god, is Quinn Cook a 3-time champion? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he went with the Warriors twice.
Him and JaVale. Did him and JaVale literally wait? Yeah.
Yeah, they've just.
Yeah, they've been following.
Shout out Danny Green too. Danny Green, the only player ever to win 3 championships with 3 different teams. Only guy I can think of, right?
Only one that comes to mind. Yep, can't think of anyone else here.
No, but I mean, like,
he did join a very short list of players to win back-to-back titles with 2 different teams, which I think is pretty cool.
Look, I mean, like Danny Green doesn't play for my team anymore. I love him. Like, he's one of my favorite. Like, just not
you might
like
be on the very short list of people that love Danny Green right now.
Yeah, because he doesn't play for my team. That's why I love him. Like, like he's fallen off a cliff. But with the death threats that he got after last game, like I'm glad.
Come on.
What?
People suck.
No, I know. But like it was nice to see him win. And like the Kobe narrative was getting really weird. But I am happy. No, because it was
in
like
what sense?
In what sense? It was like Rob Pelinka saying like I would hear Kobe speak to me in the middle of the night telling me to stay on course. Like what?
Yeah.
Rob Pelinka is also the guy that lied about Kobe, like asking for a meeting with Heath Ledger. Remember that story?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, he so if you're listening, you don't know. Rob Pelinka said that Kobe asked for a meeting with Heath Ledger after he saw The Dark Knight because he wanted to like take notes on him being locked in because Heath Ledger was like legendary in the way that he just locked into the role.
I mean,
yeah. Also, worth noting that Heath Ledger died like 6 months before the movie was released. So obviously Rob Pelinka was lying. That's what I'm saying. Like the Kobe thing was getting weird.
Like not that neither one is good. Either lying or like just blatantly unaware of like what was happening.
Yeah, dickhead, fucking Rob Lowe. No, but like give credit. He did a great job of getting the roster together. But it was just like the Kobe thing was getting weird. But like
getting weird, but also entirely valid.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
It was hard. Like I was watching them like celebrate on the court. And, like, it's hard not to be emotional. Like you see the emotion in like LeBron's face in particular. Like I got like literally a close personal friend. Like
I mean Rob Pelinka and Kobe were super tight. They were like best friends.
Talking about Kobe and LeBron.
Yeah, them too. It was so weird because it's like I'm a Spurs fan. I can't like the Lakers, but like it was so powerful that I was like when the playoffs started and I knew the Spurs weren't in it, I was like, I kind of like, I'm okay with the Lakers winning it for Kobe. Like, I'm okay with that, like it was just like, there are a lot of awesome little like storylines going into this one. Most importantly, like, like it validates Frank Vogel before we get to AD and LeBron, the big conversation, obviously. Like, when they hired Frank Vogel, I mean, me included, I was like, okay, they're hiring a puppet coach. Like Frank Vogel's weird.
Which is the
valid.
book when you have LeBron. Hire some guy that LeBron likes and can kind of talk over and like be the alpha over.
I mean, you remember what the talk was when they hired Jason Kidd too? Like they were like, okay, they're gonna start 1-3.
People were clowning them.
Yeah, they're like, all right, they're gonna start 1-3, and Jason Kidd's gonna be the coach, right? But like, no, Frank Vogel got that defense together. This was one of the best defenses in the league all season long, and then in the playoffs, they were absolutely suffocating.
Yeah. No, the Lakers coaching staff, like, fair or not, LeBron has gotten a reputation as somewhat of a coach killer, or if not like explicitly a coach killer, like someone who is like, he's the book on Braun was like he is the best player on the team. He's also the coach and the general manager. Like he runs the team. And I think his second stint in Cleveland, that could be very fair. I think for more of his Miami years than he probably would like to admit, that was also kind of the case. He and Spo did not have a great relationship in Miami.
And it's interesting because if you look at it just real quick like that, that's the case. But then think about it scenario by scenario, right? Like the first time in Cleveland, they did an awful job of getting a roster around him, and you didn't really hear that knock too much, right? Yeah. Then he goes to Miami. He has beef with Spo at first, but then they come to like each other, and like I
think they came to respect each other and have a better relationship than they did the first two seasons.
Then he goes back to Cleveland, and they have David Blatt, who was not a very good coach there, and LeBron wanted a coach there, and like it or not, Ty Lue helped them win. I know you don't like Ty Lue, but like you have a head coach that wins a championship. Like there's so much that goes into that. He finds a coach that he's happy with.
For LeBron too is like you could probably count on one hand the number of people alive on the planet right now that know the game of basketball better than LeBron James.
Yeah, and that's got to be such a hard job to coach him.
Pop, Coach K.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have.
I could get, but there's a very, very.
It's not a long list.
Know basketball better than LeBron James. So it's
me. I know basketball more than LeBron James.
I probably it's probably like you, LeBron, me, if I had to guess.
You put me above you?
Like just a touch, yeah, just a touch.
Let's go.
Point being, it's got to be, especially when LeBron was younger, and he said this before that he was kind of immature in his first couple seasons with the Heat. It's probably really difficult for a guy like that knowing he's, like the Terminator of the NBA. Like, it's got to be tough if you disagree with your head coach and you're looking at the situation. You're just like, well, I know the game better than you. Like, how could you possibly say it? It's like, it's a maturity thing to a degree.
No, yeah, absolutely.
It's not an issue anymore. We're talking about 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah. I mean, all I was saying on the coaches killing thing is like, it was true sometimes. And then in other times, you're a superstar player like LeBron James. You're, a 1A, 1B best player of all time. Like you can choose who your coach is at that point. And like, he gets a lot of flack for kind of his GM role in Cleveland, which is fair because they fucked him up. But
and he did, to be fair. I like, or make your point.
He got money for his friends and people that he thought were going to be a good fit. Right. But also, they won a championship, and I don't think if you're a Cavs fan, you trade that for anything.
No, you don't trade it as a Cavs fan. Absolutely not. I think it parts of it come off as kind of like almost like insider trading almost.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like the whole Jordan Clarkson trade, like that was really sketchy to me.
I mean, it's always going to be insider trading type thing. I mean, what did he say about AD like a couple weeks ago? He was like, that's why I brought AD in, and everyone's like, what? Like,
okay, but was everyone like that? Like, we knew.
No, I know. It was just weird hearing him say like, that's why I brought AD in.
I mean,
that's kind of a bad look for the league, man. Like,
it's kind of a bad look for the league, but it's like
unspoken.
Like it doesn't happen.
No, I know.
We don't know it doesn't happen. Like we don't know it happens. Everyone doesn't know it happens.
Secret. That's. Anyway, we're talking about LeBron's legacy. Like, I don't want to put him down on a day where he just won his fourth, like the day after he won his fourth championship.
Before we get into this, just a moment for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, no, fair. Well deserved.
Wow. Literally, he could not have done anything more short of, unless he literally put up 7 of his game 4 performances.
They weren't going to win.
They weren't going to win.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It just like, Jimmy Butler was right. To everyone who doubted Jimmy Butler, he was right, actually. He could be the number one guy on a title contending team. And if you can work with his leadership style and kind of, I don't want to say fall in line behind him, like he's like the alpha dog, like you have to follow exactly what I do. But
he is. He
is the alpha dog. Like it's the Heat were Jimmy Butler's team. I'd say I don't want to say fall in line behind because that makes it seem like he's like, drill sergeant. Like
he kind of is probably like,
I don't know. Clearly he's got the respect of that team.
Yeah. He's perfect for Heat Heat mentality and Heat Nation.
Well, I feel like there's so much made about how young players in today's NBA come in entitled. I feel like maybe this is just the specific group that the Heat have and Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, those guys. Clearly they weren't put off by Jimmy's, I assume probably hard charging kind of in your face leadership style.
Well, it just makes Cat look so bad, man.
Yeah.
Cuz it's just it
makes the whole Minnesota situation just look on Jimmy too, on all fronts. You say that's Jimmy Butler's leadership style, but a true leader you'd think would be able to kind of realize when that situation, when that your style of leadership didn't fit with that situation, if you know what I'm saying.
I off topic. I just saw in the chat
Okay.
on our Instagram. No, on our Instagram live. I just saw the chat.
Ah,
Melo played great. What you talking about? Look,
what are you talking about?
Melo kept his, made a case for him to remain in the league.
No, yeah, Melo proved beyond a doubt that he still belongs in the NBA.
But he got exposed in the playoffs really bad. I mean, his plus minus in his 5 games that they were there, -2, -26, -2, -27, -10.
Did you really look up Melo's plus minus just to make this point?
I just looked up his stats just because I was like, okay, I need to, have the stats here because he proved he belonged in the league.
Melo hater. Big Melo hater.
I like Melo. I like Melo, but you gotta take him for what he is.
Yeah, and on a title contending team, Melo wouldn't be playing meaningful minutes down the stretch.
I'd like to see him get a ring.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, obviously, absolutely for you. Yeah, but like Jimmy Butler played his ass off. Obviously, if Miami,
the shot of him after he hit that second and one with him like bent over on the padding,
that's what it's about
all time. Like that is a legendary NBA photo. That's like
and you saw
arguably the photo that sums up. Like if you could pick 2 photos to, like sum up this finals, it would be that and then like I don't know what your other
JR shirtless. I'm celebrating on the court.
Yeah.
There's like a minute left and he was already shirtless. I love it. You see Dwight Howard accidentally expose his messages yesterday?
Yeah, it wasn't anything bad.
No. But it was
like him talking to his wife or something. It's like,
yeah, it's funny.
Although we did learn that Dwight Howard is the type of guy to put like a bunch of emojis next to his wife's name on his phone. Make his wife's name was like my world. It was like it wasn't like his wife's birth name. It was like my world.
That's what I have you saved on my phone.
I know that's not true. You have me saved as Ben Barlton.
Yeah, with the B emoji for sure.
Exactly.
It's still good.
Like all our friend group has that. Although it actually kind of cracks me up. Josh has it as just like doesn't have the B emoji, just has it as if my last name is Barlton, which kind of funny.
Take it. Before this playoffs, if you were like, if there's any chance that Giannis goes to Miami, it's going to be like to play along with Jimmy Butler, right? Because they got Jimmy Butler in and they were like, this is not the type of alpha player that can lead us to a championship. Like he is a very good player, but he can't be the undisputed number 1 option and lead us to a championship. And that's not true. He proved that it's not true.
Straight not true.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like he upped his stock so much. He's probably a top 15 player in the league. He proved that, solidified that in the playoffs. They have a bright future. The only thing with them, I was reading this interesting article this morning, is that, Crowder played well in the playoffs. He kind of fell off at one point, but like it's going to be hard to bring him back.
But Crowder's a replaceable part. There are a lot of guys like Jay Crowder in the NBA today.
Well, it's interesting because they almost traded away Jay Crowder and Iguodala for Danilo Gallinari, which I was all for. I was like, that would be a fantastic
just came out today and said he was more interested in playing for a chip than playing for like a bigger contract next season.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't come up with he couldn't like promise for an extension or they couldn't agree to an extension. Yeah. That was the reason it fell through. It just the Heat getting here is improbable, crazy, and I'm really interested to see what their future looks like.
Like you also got to bank on improvement from Tyler Hero, improvement from Kendrick. Kendrick Nunn looked like was rookie of the month the first 2 months of the NBA, Eastern Conference rookie of the month. Yep. Like he fell off big time, and like that obviously is concerning. But like, got to figure he's going to improve.
Well, you got to remember too, like teams started scouting for him a little better and all that, but his shot fell off in the playoffs and his rotation got completely cut because of Goro. And also, got to remember, I mean, the dude had COVID. Like, he missed like 2 to 3 weeks.
I literally.
Yeah. He missed like 2 or 3 weeks getting back after a pandemic and after being away from your team as a rookie. Like, that's really tough, man. He's good. He's got to improve his on-ball defense, which is a big thing for him.
You could say that about 98% of rookies to ever play in the NBA. Like,
yeah. Just a huge hats off to Miami.
And again, they're gonna the East is looking loaded up for the next few years. Like wow,
I'm really and I mean the Celtics have 3 first-round picks this year. Like whether they use 2 because they don't have enough roster spots, they're not going to use all 3 of them. So they're probably going to trade 1 or 2 of them away. Like
who do you try to? You could try to trade for damn near anyone you want with 3 firsts like that.
You need a big, man. You need a big.
Do you need a big? Or do you need Anthony Davis?
That would be fucking nice.
Well, because that's
everyone could use Anthony Davis.
There have been like some. I'm sure it's read some things here and there. They're like, oh, AD's showing like the big man's not dead in the NBA. It's like, no, the big man's dead. Anthony Davis is just a fucking freak.
He's just a 7-foot guard, right?
Yeah, like
That's what
Giannis is the closest thing we have to like a big into like okay, there's like Jokic and Embiid, but like we've also seen that Jokic and Embiid like kind of have some limitations that guys like AD and Giannis just don't really have.
You read it. You read the Kevin O'Connor's article too.
Of course, I read the Kevin O'Connor article.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
But like we had this conversation too. We were like, the Lakers are gonna go small ball. It's like, okay, AD is at the 5 is not really small ball. It's just no true center.
Anthony Davis. Like,
I mean, he's still a power forward. Like,
but he also like swallowed his pride and played a lot of minutes at the 5 in the postseason after spending his whole career saying he didn't want to.
He said this season he didn't want to either, but he said, I will if I have to, you know? I mean.
And not to bring up Melo again, but like.
Oh, my God.
The year where Melo won the scoring title, he was so clearly best playing at the 4, but he wanted to play the 3, and it hurt the team. And it's like, you know, there was a reason Melo didn't get very far. He was kind of selfish when it came to that type of thing.
That's what I liked seeing this year from Melo, is that, you know, he acknowledged that he's not that type of player anymore, and he can't be. Because when he was on the Rockets, they were like, AOP, they want me to come off the bench. Like, all-time quote, but like
one of like the 3 greatest things he's contributed to the game of basketball.
But like, what was it? It's him, the hoodie, and I gotta fuck out of here.
3 to the dome.
Oh, well then 4 then, because I think I gotta fuck out of here is all-time too.
See, like more guys say that. Like that's like.
But like it's always.
I wouldn't consider that specifically Melo. I wouldn't call it specifically a Melo thing.
No. All right. Anyway, AD
also,
and LeBron.
Not directly Melo, but the KG Melo Lala beef. All time. Fair. What tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios? What a line! What a line! Oh my God.
I don't want to talk about that.
Wow.
AD and LeBron.
That's culture right there. That's for the culture.
Oh my God. All right. You done with Melo stuff?
For now.
Okay. AD and LeBron. What? LeBron gets ring number 4. Now he gets to go home, and as a viewer is very politely putting it in the comments, he's gonna kick his son's ass because he had a video of him smoking weed published. But in all seriousness, I mean, before this chip, we both said it's LeBron and AD. It's LeBron and Jordan at the top, right? It's LeBron and Jordan at the top. There was some room for discussion with Wilt or Bill Russell or Magic, whoever the hell, or Kareem, whoever the hell you want to put up. There's no discussion. No, it's LeBron and Jordan at the top.
Yeah. I don't think we're ever gonna. Short of LeBron winning like 5 more rings, I don't think we'll ever come to a consensus on like.
No.
Well, you and I are in agreement. I don't think like the basketball world will ever completely come to a consensus on who the true number 1 is. Mm-hmm. If you are talking, this goes out to anyone watching this video. If you want to have a conversation with me about the greatest basketball player of all time, and the list doesn't end with LeBron and MJ, I'm not having the conversation.
Yeah, this solidified that. Like,
yeah, I would have said it was solidified last year too.
Me too. But beyond any question now.
But how could you possibly make an argument that LeBron or MJ are any worse than the second best player to ever play the game of basketball?
People are like, oh, well, LeBron jumped ship and this and that.
I mean, yeah, you can definitely make a case.
You think Jordan wouldn't have done that? You think Jordan wouldn't have done that if he knew he could? Like,
that's just like a complete like shot in the dark type.
No,
of argument.
I know, but like, if you have the sort of like the pull that you would have now that you did back then, right? Because maybe Scottie Pippen doesn't sign like a $6 million deal and just stays there.
Want to have it's not a productive way to look at the issue.
I know. Just, you know, like they're very different.
If MJ played with Magic, Larry Bird, and
no, I'm just saying if MJ really could influence who came to his team and, you know, who they traded.
And he got Rodman there.
Yeah, he did, but like he didn't.
I think from a fan perspective, and speaking as someone who like really hated LeBron for going to Miami, like there is like, but that's like, it's not style points per se, but that's like the surface
trailblazer stuff. Yeah, it's like trailblazer points. Like he's talking about him being a trailblazer and like making his own path.
Not really.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind.
I was like, what? I just mean more just like from a fan's perspective and like for like the overall game of basketball. I think LeBron like really did some damage when he went to Miami. Like that really changed the league for the worse, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair. The
Celtics had like the super team beforehand, but the Celtics traded for those guys and gave up assets, and it was more of like an all-in move as opposed to like a free agent splash.
Yeah. I would argue that KD ruined it more.
KD would have done it if LeBron didn't do it.
No, KD wouldn't have done it if his team could hold on to a 3-1 lead. Right?
I think you could play a really fun game, like really fun, like butterfly effect type of game where it's like you look back at everything that happened between the decision and KD.
But it's LeBron's fault that happened? Like, I don't think so.
I think you could connect them. You want to talk about correlation scores again?
Oh my God.
That's definitely like a .673 correlation score, if you ask me.
Your worry scale, your correlation scale. Like,
hey, the correlation's not me. The correlation, that's just math.
I know.
I don't know why I'm the one talking about it.
Yeah, right. But you look at how long LeBron's done it versus MJ. Like, again, we talked about this. Nostalgia plays such a strong effect in the fact that MJ was the first face of the league.
Yeah.
In the modern era.
It's more that he was the first take Bill Russell and Wilt out of the conversation because they were literally playing against milkmen. Like they were not playing anywhere near the level of competition that we started to see in the 70s realistically.
No, even after that, honestly. 80s.
But starting the 70s into the 80s was there was a much higher general bar of you have to be this good to you gotta be this tall to ride. You gotta be this good to play in the NBA.
Uh-huh.
MJ showed up and was like, okay, I am literally just better than everyone.
Yeah, his first year was just I'm better than everyone. They were like, shit, I guess he's better than everyone.
I guess this guy's got the league unlocked for the next 15 years. That had never happened before MJ.
Yeah.
Semantically, something that I've said, and again, this is still and the crazy thing is MJ's case is written in stone. We know what MJ's case is. LeBron's still writing his legacy.
Yeah.
We got lots of ink left on the pen, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. I think this doesn't really change from him having 3 titles to 4 titles. If he wins another title, and I remember we had this conversation on our show when it was on VIC 2 years ago. We were like, okay, when LeBron won that 3rd title in 2016, we were like, okay, they're gonna he's gonna win a 4th title. And then when we had that conversation, we both felt confident that he would win number 4. And here we are.
2 years later.
I still give him I don't know. I'd say there's probably a 70% chance that he wins number 5.
Call it next year. Lakers title favorites.
I mean, as of right now,
assuming they sign it, it's so funny. We talk about AD coming back like it is literally set in stone. It's not. He is a free agent.
He said I'm going to evaluate everything, which I think he would be
That's his agent saying, "I will kill you if you say anything other than this." Is he Rich Paul?
Yeah, he's. Oh, of course. How do you think he got to LA?
Rich Paul. That was a dumb question. I apologize.
I mean, it's LeBron and MJ. There's no question. You look at the amount of years that LeBron has done it for, the fact that he's made 10 titles.
10 straight finals.
10
straight finals. 10 straight finals where he's been healthy.
Yes. Okay, but you can't say that. 9 straight finals and then 10th just now.
Yeah.
It's just bonkers, man.
LeBron hasn't played in the playoffs and missed the finals in the last 10 years.
And you compare him to MJ and you watch The Last Dance and MJ after the first three-peat, he was done, dude. He needed to take a break. He was completely worn down.
It may have been encouraged to.
We both agree on that conspiracy theory. Yeah, but he needed that to then win the second three-peat. And I'll ask you this interesting question, because if LeBron wins in 2011 against the Mavericks, right? Because that's probably what deters most people, because he kind of was scared in the big stage potentially, or didn't play up to the hype. Regardless of what you think it is, if he wins that title, right?
And then the Spurs, the 07 Spurs loss looks bad. He was obviously completely outmatched.
Yeah, but that doesn't look bad on him. It doesn't look bad on him per se.
If you're comparing him to MJ, did MJ ever get swept in the finals?
No, but But MJ never had that discrepancy of talent. Look at
the thing that I kind of the big I think LeBron's the best basketball player to ever play. Mm-hmm. We both agree there. I think the big drawback for LeBron's case is how could you be so good up until a point and then get swept twice, lose another one 4-1? Well, it's confusing. It's hard. It's really hard to make sense. I'm not trying to say it as it is a knock on. Obviously, it's a knock on LeBron. It is a.
But then in the same case, I mean, Jordan never made it out of the first round without Pippen, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. The way I see it for LeBron is 2007. He was complete. As someone who watched that series and was rooting for the other team. Like, he was completely outmatched. That team was a nightmare
entirely.
around it. His second best player was Mo Williams, right? Like,
Yeah.
or Zindris Ilgauskas.
Big Z.
Well, I saw him in person.
Snow
That
on
man
that
is
team?
fucking massive.
Is Eric Snow on that Cavs team?
I don't think so. He was on the Allen Iverson team, the Allen Iverson Sixers.
I don't know.
He might, whatever.
I don't know
He
why
was
I was even thinking of Eric.
I don't put 2007 on him. Like, he was young.
He was on the court.
Yeah, he was on the court. You're right, but it was his fourth season. He was going against 3-time champion Tim Duncan, 2-time champion Manu, and Tony Parker. Like,
the thing that's just like confusing to kind of like, because like obviously he played in the series. He was on the floor. He played.
Yeah.
Like was the East just like absolute trash that year to the point where LeBron could blood?
Yeah.
Do you remember how good or bad the East was in 2007?
Well,
No, you don't.
They beat. Orlando had beat them in 2009. But
you're telling me you've got a great mental image of what the Eastern Conference looked like in 2007?
I don't put that finals loss on him. The same way I don't put,
So what's his finals record?
What?
What's his finals record?
4-6.
I thought you didn't count that one.
I obviously count it, but I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to count it. It's part of it. It's part of the narrative.
I know, but I don't like. Do you count like his losses against the Warriors? Obviously, they still count, but you're like, shit. One year he didn't have Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, and all years he was a lot better. Like, he had no business.
Should we look at
winning
LeBron at what 6-2 in the finals then?
No, absolutely not.
4-4.
Oh, like not count. No, obviously they count, but I'm saying like I don't look at those losses the same way I look at 2011, because 2011 he should have won that championship.
So basically what you're saying is you feel like LeBron only legitimately lost one finals.
No, he didn't legitimately lose one finals because he legitimately lost 6 finals. But
you're just like you're contradicting yourself.
No, because he did legit lose the other ones, but in terms of like, was I incredibly disappointed with him because he like completely underperformed? No, he was good in 2007. His team was ass. In 2015, he was good. His team was ass. In 2017, he was good. His team was ass. Like, in 2011, he was bad. His team was good. They should have won that one. That's what I'm saying. Is that's the only one where I'm just like,
I don't know if I would have said he should have won 2011. That Mavs team, I was talking about it last night. That Mavs team was really good. Like,
they're good, but they should have won.
It might be hard for you to like be the guy to say this, but like Dirk gets kind of slept on as like one of like the best players of his era.
Yes, but they should have won.
Also, just like, I don't know if you would say should have. Like, that Mavs team was really, really good, really well coached against, admittedly, an outmatched Eric Spoelstra at that point.
Yeah.
Outmatched, outcoached.
But if I'm looking at any one of them that I'm like, ugh, they should have won that series, it's that is what I'm saying for LeBron. Agree or disagree?
I mean, yeah, I'll agree with that. I think it's kind of discrediting the fact that Mavs team was really good, filled with vets, much better coaching staff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Made the right adjustments. I think was in the Kevin Conner speech that they were talking about what's it called? The Heat were running like a 38-year-old Mike Bibby in that series. Was that article?
Mike Bibby and JJ Barea.
Yeah, exactly. And it worked because Mike Bibby wasn't going to punish JJ Barea on the defensive end. Like, Mike Bibby at 38 wasn't doing anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just don't know if I would say they should have won that series.
Okay. That's just the way I see it in terms of what is disappointing in my eyes. And obviously I still count the losses.
You ever look in a mirror?
What for disappointment?
You said what's disappointing in your eyes?
Every damn day. Real quick, AD, like, I don't think we can't really talk about his legacy yet because
no. Yeah.
We can't. But this helps. Like, you think about all like the dominant like power forwards that haven't won a championship.
Think about Charles Barkley.
Yeah, right then and
Patrick
there. Like,
Ewing, not a power forward, but like
a big man. Yeah.
Yeah.
You check that off. Like, AD
is the two that
AD's on his way. AD's on his way to a Hall of Fame career. And this
AD can retire today and be on the Hall of Fame.
Wait, so you don't think Dwight Howard is a surefire Hall of Famer, but you think if AD retires right now, he's a Hall of Famer?
I think so.
That is preposterous.
Preposterous.
That's ridiculous, dude. There's no way if Anthony Davis retires right now, he'd be a Hall of Famer.
I don't know.
Also, Anthony Davis, if you're listening, you probably should not retire right now.
I don't think Anthony Davis is listening to the show. But if you are, that Antonio guy.
That Antonio guy. Why do you keep calling him that? Got anything more to
Speaking
add
of,
about
well,
AD's legacy and such?
I just some just numbers I found doing research for the show.
Mm-hmm.
AD became the fifth player, or had the fifth ever 50-40-90 line on 20-plus points per game in the finals. Joined Magic in 87, Penny Hardaway in 05, Chauncey Billups in 04, and then Kevin Durant in 2017 and 2018. Talk about guys who, like, not that anyone sleeps on Kevin Durant as like a, like a one of the best players we've ever seen, but like to say he didn't earn his rings with Golden State, I feel like is kind of a missed point. Like, dude went 50-40-90 in back-to-back finals.
Have whatever feelings you want about him joining and all that, which is fair, but discrediting it is beyond them.
And you can discredit it. Mm-hmm. He joined the fucking Warriors. Like, you can discredit that all you want, but to say he wasn't like absolutely balling and like a huge factor on that team is absurd. That's preposterous.
It's such an interesting question because you ask every year, like what players benefit the most from winning a chip, right? Like KD is probably the player who has a chip already that would benefit the most from winning another one. Because
absolutely.
Like
if KD could win a chip with the Nets.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he won't.
He's already going to retire probably as a top 10 player of all time.
He could very well. If you talk like just like physical talent as a basketball player,
yeah,
Kevin Durant's probably like.
Unfortunately, it's not the case because if that was the case, then Tracy McGrady would be a lot higher, and Grant Hill would be. But
those guys couldn't. The best ability is availability, right? I'm talking about like guys who played full careers. Just talking pure physical skill, like Kevin Durant is a cheat code.
Yeah.
On the same level that Anthony Davis is, honestly.
Yeah.
A who can move like a guard and shoot threes, like elite rim protection, good passer, great on perimeter defense, great. Like it's absurd.
That's ridiculous.
And like that also, to get back to the whole LeBron AD thing, like, or LeBron MJ thing, like LeBron is still out there with all these guys and playing is he like the clear cut like best player like today in the NBA? Probably not.
I don't know if there's anyone else for a season I'd rather have on the court.
You could make cases though. You could absolutely make cases. Like if you're like,
but he's not
in a situation like you're picking one player to start a franchise. Like,
oh, well, I'm not going to start a franchise with him, but like, yeah.
All right, not start a franchise. You're right, not start a franchise. You've got like one season to win an NBA title. LeBron is not undoubtedly the pick on that list. He is not.
But easily a top 5 pick.
Easily like top 3.
Yeah.
All right, NFL Week 5, baby.
Yeah, it was. I kind of thought it was going to be. You probably had the same thought. Probably thought it was just going to be like a pretty boring week, or just like run of the mill.
Run of the mill. Nothing like none of the some of the I'd say the overall quality of the matchups was a little bit better than we've seen in some weeks, but there were no like jump off the page type of like, oh my god, I have to watch that game type of games.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Didn't think it was going to be that exciting. I think the biggest storyline we have to start with, unfortunately, is Dak's injury.
Yeah, I not to like downplay the injury. I don't know if that's necessarily I don't know if that's the most important injury we've seen in the NFL this season.
No, and that's such a bad
Definitely the most
sign.
gruesome. Definitely the most gruesome.
Yeah, it's such a bad sign because like that is a huge injury, but like the amount of injuries we've seen is just ridiculous.
It definitely is like. I keep wanting to say it's the most important because I keep thinking like, oh, Dallas's offense is great. Like they lost their quarterback. Like they're screwed now. Like that's huge. But then I remember like Dallas was an onside kick away from being 0-4. Like Dallas is not good.
Yeah, no. We talked about it. They were like, they're a very good 1-3 team, but are they a good team? Probably not.
Also, like you can talk about all the qualifiers. Like the Bears were the worst 3-0 team through 3 weeks. The Cowboys were the best.
And then they beat the Bucs. Then they beat the
Bucs. But it's like you can qualify the record with whatever you want. Like your record is what gets you into the playoffs at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can be the best goddamn 6-10 team we've ever seen, but like you're not making. Well, actually, you might make the playoffs at 6-10 in the NFC East.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
But look, if we're talking about it, like I was doing some research. No NFL team has ever made the playoffs at lower than 7-9, at least as best I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the year that we're going to see a team make it at 6-10.
And the worst part is the Giants aren't going to make the playoffs.
Really, Matias, go on.
The
Please
Washington,
tell me more here.
well, they're like the only team from that division that like I don't trust to make the playoffs. I don't think the Washington.
They're the only team. They're the only team you don't.
I don't know, dude. Like,
so you have a lot of faith in the other three teams in the NFC East to make the playoffs.
I don't have much faith, but I have more faith in the Giants. Like,
okay, but you just saying you think the Giants are the only team. Look, the Giants are Giants are going 0-16. Like, I'm all in on Trevor Lawrence at this point.
Mm.
I don't think any of the teams in the NFC deserve to make the playoffs.
Me neither. But
like someone is going to sneak in at 6-10. Not sneak in. Someone's going to win the division.
Someone has to. Yeah. The bad part is like it's a Dallas team that should be good. If they get in, they're not going to be good, and it's an Eagles team that isn't good.
Now they're not like Andy Dalton is taking them to the promised land.
Not even the Red Rocket. Not even the Red Rocket. That's Matt Bonner for sure.
I didn't say that. You said the Red Rocket.
Yeah, I know. I said it, and then I was disgusted with myself.
Yeah, you should be.
It's such a shame for Dak though, because like the offense was not the problem really for Dallas. It's not like
the consistent offense was the problem. Like why?
Yeah.
You got Dak throwing for 7,000 yards, on pace to throw for 7,000 yards. You couldn't spread a few of those out in like the first half of the game.
Right. And there's a reason he was always, racking up big yards because he was playing from behind.
Yeah.
But like we discussed on the last show, you still got to do it.
He still throws. He still accounts for the yards. Like
there's a compound fracture and a dislocation of his right ankle. So he's done for the
season. Now bring in medical professional Matias Weilmann. Matias, what exactly does that mean?
Well, laugh at me all you want, but I did text our good friend Stratton, who's a physical therapy student, a grad student at Ithaca. And I asked him like what this could mean for him in terms of recovery and like if it could affect him like, down the line and things like that. I read something that Bill Barnwell wrote up too, because he had written in that big article he wrote for ESPN a while back about, what the most important injuries were in week 2, I think it is, when everyone got hurt. He wrote about Jimmy G. I'll read you the exact quote. Quarterbacks with ankle or foot injuries who are struggling to plant their feet with the usual authority tend to sail passes and throw more interceptions. Look at Jimmy G this week. He was 7 for 17 with 70 yards. He got benched because he sailed 2 throws and threw 2 interceptions in the first half.
To me, that just screams that he was not ready to play.
Yeah, I agree. It's just going to be interesting to see what Dak Prescott comes back with.
You almost wonder if you think like if the Niners looked at this Dolphins team and were like, well, maybe we can like get Jimmy back in a game against like a not great team and kind of get his like feet wet again. And like, again, I'm not a medical professional. I can't look at Jimmy's tape from Sunday and say like, oh, well, clearly he's still favoring that ankle. Like, I have no idea. You look at his numbers, which I have a much better idea of like how to interpret those. Can't imagine he was ready to play in that game.
No. And I mean, like we talked about this. It's that right foot that you plant on if you're a righty when you're dropping back that you have to push off of. And that's something too that, that when I was talking to Stratton about the injury and the implications in the future, he said,
can you refer to him by his proper title, please?
Sorry, Dr. Gervanos.
Dr. D.
Dr. D. He said, if he's going to have to put his pressure into it when he drives back, he's going to be interested to see how that turns out in the future. Bill Barnwell listed a couple of guys that had those injuries that came back and were fine, but you never know with injuries like this,
And the good news, the relative good news here is it's early in the season. It's week 5. Like Dak, I saw the timetable was like 3 to 4 months, optimistically.
Yeah,
for like getting back into like football shape.
I think it was closer to. I think it was closer to 4 months minimum because he had the surgery and he can't put any pressure on it.
Whatever it was, he should be like he should be like a full go for training camp. Next season. Obviously,
he's done for this season.
Yeah. No, yes, he's. His ankle was bent a solid 90 degrees. He is done for the season.
Yeah.
He should be. The good news is early enough in the season where it's like he will be a full go, barring like awful complications. He'll be a full go for training camp next season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be a matter of like getting back on the field and getting back into the swing of things. Although you look for inspiration, you can look around the NFC East. Alex Smith played a fucking football game this weekend.
That's crazy.
Threw passes, took hits, got sacked by Aaron Donald twice.
Did you see the video of Aaron Donald going, that motherfucker's leg is strong?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think these are mutually exclusive. You can still be very happy for him that he was playing and also be like wildly uncomfortable.
It
Like,
was definitely a
why?
little. I took the
Yeah.
Josh of like when they cut to like the shot of like his wife and his kids. Like
Yeah.
his wife must have been like a
Bro,
nervous
why are you like,
wreck
bro, why
watching
are you
that game.
doing this? Like, you literally almost died. Like,
I don't know what the conversations were in that house, but like my significant other like almost died doing something. I don't think I'd be a big fan of them like hopping right back
yeah.
into it at like the earliest possible convenience.
Like
Especially if that thing that they're doing where they broke their leg was, being an NFL quarterback.
yeah, it's not like it's like he, was doing construction on a hospital. That's like
Yeah, it's not a freak thing. Like it's a very, very real job risk to get your legs snapped when you're an NFL quarterback.
Did you watch the E60?
On Alex Smith? No.
Yeah. They had to put like a viewer discretion as advised before they came back each time.
Yeah.
Like it was uncomfortable to watch him in. And the fact that he had to face Aaron Donald to even start was not a good sign. But it was weird. Like, he did say that he wanted to come back because he said, if I can come back and play football after almost losing my life, then I can do anything. Which is if you want to prove that to yourself, like, by all means do it and everything. But that was weird, dude. I don't like it. I'm not gonna say.
I do love that they had him throw a pass the first play.
Yeah, I mean his average.
Get the rust out.
Yeah, I mean his average like yards per attempt were like 4, I think.
Oh
like,
yeah, but what is
Alex
wasn't himself? That's kind of Alex Smith. Not like Alex Smith is
4 yards.
Not 4, obviously, but it's not like Alex Smith is like a Pat Mahomes type.
Yeah.
Also, let me take that back. There is no such thing as a Pat Mahomes type.
Yeah.
Point being, Alex Smith is not like a deep ball.
Yeah, West Coast offense.
Yeah, quick.
The thing with Dak Prescott is, what does the contract come down to? Because he got multi-year extension offers in the offseason. He chose not to accept them. So it's not like, it's not like he was holding out. He has to hold out because they didn't offer him anything.
This is literally exactly why you hold out.
Yeah. That's why you can't and there are certain scenarios where just like, this is ridiculous. Like we talked about the Jamal Adams thing where it was like, this is like a year earlier.
That was different than a holdout. That was it was a holdout. It was like a different type of situation.
Yeah. Well, or it's because like the Le'Veon Bell one, it was like, this guy was like multiple 1,000-yard seasons like in a row, like one of the best running backs in the league, and wasn't getting paid. And he was like, bro, I'm not going to take another fucking snap because I know I'm a running back. I'm going to get hurt. Exactly. This is why people hold out. Like,
it's like, but the difference here is like, it's like Jamal Adams was under contract and wanted more. With Dak, he was not under any contract. It was the tag or nothing. Like, and he opted to go with the tag. And now, the relative good news for Dak here is Dallas has a reputation of paying their own. Like, I would fully expect Dallas to pay Dak.
He'll probably get the
top of the market. I don't know about I don't think they can give him the tag anymore.
No, they can.
I thought they used it on him twice already.
No, this is the first year. It was
the
first year.
Last year.
It was just still his original rookie contract, I think. I saw
he got drafted 2014.
I saw an article that said they can use the tag on him next season. They can
maybe they didn't like tag him per se one of the years.
Yeah. They can still tag him next season. The only problem is, what is the salary cap going to look like?
If I'm Dak Prescott's agent and if I even see an email with the words, what's the word? What's
franchise tag?
Franchise tag. Wow.
If I even see the words,
what were they? If I see the words franchise tag in my email, I am I'm telling Dak to never play a snap for the Cowboys again. You cannot tag this man again.
I don't know. Like, can you really say that after he's coming off a major injury now? But now he's coming off a major injury. You kind of have to see what a quarterback can do when he fucks up his ankle like that.
I think if they want to tag Dak again, you play somewhere else. You don't play for Dallas anymore. You came back from multiple holdouts to do this.
Yeah.
And Jerry Jones and the Cowboys have a reputation for paying their own and getting their own the contracts they want. If they really send Dak another franchise tag, I would be disrespected.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the other games that we saw on Sunday.
Pretty solid slate.
Yeah.
I mean,
again, it was surprisingly good.
I will start Chiefs Raiders. That's probably the most consequential game. And classic question, I'll give it to you. More concerning for the Chiefs or more hopeful for the Raiders?
Hopeful for the Raiders. I think for the Chiefs, like, it's hard because it's the NFL. Games matter more than in the NBA, but the regular season doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day,
as long as it gets now that there's only one bye, like
Yeah.
it
It
does
matters
matter a
more.
little bit more. You
Yeah.
want to get home field. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you know about how important home field advantage is in the
I
playoffs,
know it is
Matias?
quite important. I know it is quite important. If you lose in the last week to the Dolphins, you will miss
But
out
also,
on
the
it.
Raiders were a good team. Like, that's a
Yeah.
lot less concerning than the Pats last year losing to the Dolphins at home
Yeah. Yeah.
in week 16.
I
16
like
or was it week 17?
it's week 17.
Huh? Nice.
It was. That's why I'm saying it's more hopeful for the Raiders than it is concerning for the Chiefs. I'm not concerned if I'm the Chiefs. Obviously,
I think the only thing
you should be somewhat concerned after any loss if you're a title favorite, but
I'd be
like
more concerned
not
about
like oh
Mahomes'
shit.
first half performance. First half, like honestly, into the third quarter too. He did not look great.
Well,
Like
no,
the weird thing
in the
about
first
Mahomes,
half, he had like 240 yards in the first half. It was the second half where he had like 9 attempts through like the first
it's
like 8 minutes of the third quarter.
it just like again, it's the Chiefs. Like I have every reason to believe Patrick Mahomes is going to be fine. The Chiefs' offense is going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes has looked not that he doesn't care, but it just looks kind of inconsistent this year. More so than we saw from him last season. Like he was hurt last season. That's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, Mahomes didn't look great when he came back from injury, but it was like he had a pretty serious sprain. Like you didn't expect him to be like dead on Patrick Mahomes the minute he got back from injury. It's like he's kind of reverted into that like scramble around backyard style of football that looks awesome when it works. And like he pulls, has some of these like all-time moments from that style of play, but it's like, do you really need to be doing that like in the second quarter? Like
that led to his pick in the fourth, which basically sealed the game, and then Josh Jacobs scored.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting. You didn't see Max Crosby's style for stopping the Chiefs?
I don't think so.
He said they repeatedly gave him the same look in the first half and didn't care if he scored against them so that they could throw just completely different looks at him in the second half, which I don't think letting Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs score 24 points in the first half is a good strategy, but it worked because they finished with 32 points.
Yeah. That's interesting. I must have missed that.
It was weird, but like
I get like it's kind of similar to like I think the Ravens, I forget who was talking about this like a while ago. Someone talking about how they used to deal with Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically like they would basically draw up like a dummy game plan in the first half. Because the whole with these great quarterbacks, the whole idea is like you gotta like throw them different looks. You gotta like confuse them. You can't let them like know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
And basically the idea is like, all right, you make them think they're looking at one thing, but like if they realize what you're doing in the first half and they have all of halftime to sort it out, you're screwed.
Yeah.
If you're not going to give them the full half to break things down, I think you've got more of a shot. Not I think. You obviously have more of a shot if you don't give them the whole halftime.
Yeah. Well, that's what like I wouldn't advise teams to just allow the Chiefs to score 24 points in the first half, but it's
like hire this guy, defensive coordinator.
It's so crazy that it worked. I don't know. I'm not concerned for the Chiefs, but if you're the Raiders on the other side, you're like, damn,
Raiders look good.
Yeah, we talked about it. This is a team that we didn't expect to be this good. I don't think they're not a Super Bowl contender, but like this is a team that was really bad last year.
But also, like, I don't think I don't think the Raiders are going to really be contending for the top spot in the AFC West. But like, if it's coming down to it, this is basically worth 2 wins.
Yeah.
Like if it were to come down to a situation, that's the word I'm looking for.
Nice.
Where I don't think the Broncos or the Chargers are going to compete for the AFC West.
No,
it's
definitely
two-team race. Yeah, exactly. Like, if it's close down the stretch, the Chiefs are probably looking at this game. They're like, shit, we really
I also don't think it's close down the stretch.
I'm just saying in a hypothetical situation. This is the type of game where the Chiefs look back and they're like, damn, like we would, that could be the difference between Super Bowl runs through Arrowhead or it runs through somewhere else. I don't think they'll be fine. There are fans at Arrowhead, actually.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, they booed a moment of silence for social injustice the first week.
I was about to say, I was like, wait, did they do that again? Oh boy.
Yeah. Anyways,
the Niners. Do you want to talk about concern?
Yeah, the Niners have 2 wins this season. They are over
the Jets.
You concerned?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Like, they have everyone out. Like
yeah, you can chalk up like the injuries is obviously a major factor, but like you go to the Super Bowl, play a good game against the Chiefs,
and control for a large part of it.
And then come back next season, and you've only beaten the Giants and the Jets through 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's not good.
Mostert looked good, admittedly. Like, it looks like he's back.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy G didn't look good. You're obviously missing Nick Bosa and who's the other D lineman? Solomon Thomas out for the year.
And you don't have DeForest Buckner. Like
DeForest Buckner at the Colts now. Like,
yeah,
I would be concerned if I'm the Niners. Like,
yeah, me too.
You got every reason to trust in Kyle Shanahan, but like, that's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. Like, and injuries are obviously a huge part of it. We talked about a little earlier in the show, like Jimmy G did not look good. It might have come back a little too early, but like,
but also it's like, I think the concerning thing that at least I remember bringing up on the show is like, is Jimmy Garoppolo the type of quarterback that can like win you an ugly game?
Probably not, but he is he's a top tier game manager.
Which is not a bad thing. Game manager is not
a bad thing.
When you hear game manager on Second Floor Sports, it's not a bad thing.
And like, look at the 49ers offense. Like last year, they were a run heavy offense. They have dynamic playmakers at wide receiver, but not someone that you're just going to have Deebo Samuel, try to catch 12 balls a game. You're just going to have him on end arounds.
You're going to get him maybe 12 touches a game, but like,
not 12 catches.
They don't have like a Julio Jones, a Mike Thomas, a Devontae Adams type of wide receiver. They've got George Kittle who fills that role.
Yeah.
But it's different. You plan for a George Kittle differently than you plan for a Julio Jones and Devontae Adams.
I mean, they might be screwed. Like the Rams look good,
especially in that division. Yeah.
Yeah. The Cardinals look good. The Rams look good, and the Seahawks look good. I have my window popped up now of my predictions before the season, which don't look terrible, but it's definitely not very good.
I mean, NFL predictions are always like such a crapshoot.
I had the Seahawks going 15-1 this season.
Did you actually?
Yeah. I that might have been a little.
Wow.
Yeah, it might have been a little much.
I mean,
but they're 5-0. So
yeah.
I had the Niners
on that one yet.
I had the Niners going 12-4. The Cardinals going 11-5, and the Rams missing out on the playoffs going 9-7. Like,
you had the Cardinals at 12 wins.
11-5. 11 wins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have a tough schedule down the road.
Do you have just yours there, or do you have mine pulled up too? Or are those just yours?
No, I went on a website that like I could like you can register each like outcome and see what you thought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Niners might be screwed, man. They might be done. I don't have their exact schedule pulled up.
Right now, it literally seems like whatever sad sack comes out of the NFC East is taking the Niners' spot. Like,
yeah, such a bummer, dude. And imagine if you're a team in the playoffs and you lose to whatever team comes out of the NFC least.
I mean, look, as strange as it sounds right now, if I'm putting money on it, I think the football team is my pick out of the NFC East right now.
Oh my God.
It's not Dallas anymore. It's not the Giants, obviously. Is it Philly? I don't think so.
Andy Dalton didn't look terrible yesterday.
Okay, but Dak Prescott couldn't even get this team up to 500. Is Andy Dalton gonna turn around his years of like subpar quarterback play?
I'd have to look at schedules and like rank out who I think is gonna beat each, but I don't know, dude. I don't like the Eagles.
Elliot's giving me the face in the comments. The Eagles are bad. Like really.
Yeah.
Elliot, in our fantasy football group chat, member of the Fantasy Football League, he's talking about the Eagles as if they're not hot dog shit.
Yeah.
Like they are just as bad as anyone else in the division. Like,
yeah.
I mean, think it's got to be Washington or Philly.
I'm looking at their schedules right now. Like the Cowboys at 2-3 still have to play Washington twice. They have to play the Giants one more time. They still play the Bengals. They play the Eagles both times. They play and then their non-division games are the Niners, Ravens, Vikings, Steelers.
Loss.
Well, I'd have to look at each schedule to determine it, but I don't.
Well, it's so tough trying to like look down the line, especially in this season. It's like Zeke could get people get COVID, like you literally games get postponed. Like you don't know. It's really tough to look at like a week 11 matchup and be like, oh yeah, that's how that one's gonna go. Like.
Yeah,
it's as unpredictable a season as we've ever had.
Let's move on to the other games so we don't have to talk about the NFC East anymore. Running through some. We said last episode, Browns and Colts winner we would look at as a legit, maybe not contender Super Bowl, but like someone that can make noise. The Browns are 4-1 and they're third in their division.
The Browns are 4-1.
Pretty crazy.
Like ignore the fact that they're third in the division, which is of course the year the Browns are 4-1. They're classic. Not in first in the division.
Yeah, I saw Jack.
Cleveland Browns are 4-1. Jack, Josh, like any just Twitter.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations to them. Honestly, like good for you guys. Like
a winning season.
Yeah.
Multiple games over 500. It's crazy.
Yeah. good for you. Phillip Rivers is terrible too. Like, Jesus Christ. Baker and Phillip Rivers were trying to lose that game. You cannot convince me otherwise. It was god awful. Jesus Christ.
Sunday Night Football, though.
Yeah. Sunday Night. Hey, that
really
was like
fun game.
We were
watch, and I didn't watch nearly as much of it as I normally would have, obviously. But like,
I didn't watch the first half intently. I started watching really intently towards the beginning of the third quarter, middle third quarter.
But like I kept like the Lakers postgame stuff on the main TV and had the Sunday Night Football on my laptop, like on my to the side of me. I was watching a lot more of the Lakers postgame, if we're being honest. I was kind of the full recap this morning.
I was at a friend's house, so I wasn't watching the Lakers postgame.
Disappointing.
Sue me. A couple things to take away from this. Seattle's good.
Yes.
Russell Wilson.
I will agree with that point.
Russell Wilson confirmed very good, and also Minnesota not as bad as the record indicates, but again, they are still
would still call them a bad team. I mean, look, hey, the Giants are up 17-3 on the Cowboys with Dak.
Yeah.
Sometimes bad every team, like in the NFL, every team is going to have a game or two where they look decent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I still don't think the Vikings are very good.
No, but they're better than
I would have expected them to get absolutely ran through against the Seahawks. Like,
yeah.
Look,
1-3, sorry.
You put this on the rundown. What did you think about the Vikings call to go for it on 4th and a yard? That was 4th and inches.
Yeah. 4th and inches on the Seahawks 5-yard line, up by 5 points. I like that call. The way the Vikings were running the ball, the Seahawks could not stop them, especially in the second half. Madison was over 100 yards too. Like, if you look at the play again and you look at just the freeze frame, he has a wide open gap on the right side of the line.
Those type of freeze frames are so like.
No, I know, but that's a good call. Like you.
Well, it's a good call because either way, you need to stop the Seahawks from driving and getting and scoring a touchdown. Like that's your job defensively either way. And like if you literally
get that half yard, you win the game.
They showed the win percentage changes during the broadcast. A field goal literally would not have changed the Vikings win percentage.
Yeah.
Which, like, low-key doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I feel like it would at least,
makes no sense.
Swing it like a point or two here and there. But it's like, either way, if you're going to – either you get it, you just kick the field goal and give the ball back to Seattle either way.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go for it and miss and then Seattle have to drive 95 yards and score a touchdown. Like, either way, Seattle needs to drive and score a touchdown.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, like, I don't know what the win percentage, like, algorithm is. But, like, the fact that, like, Seattle would have had to drive 95 yards in how much time was it? Like, a little over a minute? Minute 15?
Like 15 with one timeout, I think.
A situation like Minnesota should be a lot more concerned about the fact that they lost the game than whether or not they got the 4th and inches.
Yeah. You have inches to go. You get that and you win the game right then and there. I go for that call 10 times out of 10. That's not
on any other, like a sack, a big stop, like any other defensive play could have won the game for them, and they didn't.
Yeah.
They ran down the field and Russ did his thing.
Yeah,
did it twice. DK literally dropped the game-winning touchdown pass.
Yeah. And then he had that unreal catch down the left sideline, which I don't know what the corner was doing there. Completely lost the ball. But Seahawks are confirmed good, and with Dak now done for the
DK Metcalf ran a terrible 3-count time.
Yeah. What an asshole, right?
That's always so funny. Like, I was just as concerned about everyone. Like, everything is always like, 3-cone is like the most important drill at the combine. Clearly, it's not stopping DK Metcalf.
Yeah. Let's just run through, our category of just everything else, every other game. We'll start with Carolina, Atlanta. I picked that. Bye-bye. Long overdue. Should have been done.
I don't know if it's long overdue. I think got to start.
There's a dead man walking going into.
Dead man walking. Give him. I think he's been there for a while. You give him. Obviously, I talk about like he had been fired already. I assume they were giving him a couple chances to win a game, compete, like try something. He's been there for long enough that he deserves a few different shots. Yeah. Use them all up. Like that's it.
Also, Matt Ryan just looks so bad.
At least they were throwing the ball to Calvin Ridley this week.
That works for you. Baltimore 27-3 win over the Bengals. Jesus Christ! Please, I just draft some sort of offensive. Just draft some sort of offensive help on the line for Joe Burrow. I think at one point in the middle of the third quarter, they had 7 first downs, had allowed 7 sacks. Like,
Bengals, really bad.
Yeah, and Baltimore, good.
There's a reason they were picking first overall.
Yeah. Houston getting their first win over Jacksonville.
See, that was one of my picks. I picked the Jags plus 5.5, I think it was, based on the fact that like I figured the Texans were just going to be in a complete shambles this week with Bill O'Brien out. I thought they would have just been like.
I thought the opposite. I thought they'd be like, "Yo, this is sick. BOB is finally gone." Like
I think
let's get a win.
My thought process was more like, you got like who's making the game plan? Like how do you? That's a lot to kind of
what's his face
deal with in a week.
Is their interim coach? It's like 70 years old.
Whoever it is, the oldest head coach in the league.
Fuck, what was his name? I don't remember. I really like him because when they did the NFL lip readings, it was hilarious. I had picked them to win. Obviously, Ben not hitting on his bets. What's new there?
I had another one this week.
Yeah, that one hit easily. Arizona 30-10 over the Jets. Got anything to say?
Jets are bad.
Cool.
Adam Gase said he was thinking about giving up play calling duties. I might as well.
Romeo
try something else.
Romeo Crennel. That's who it is. Yes. Yeah, the GOAT. The last one we talked about already, but Rams blew out Washington 30-10.
Yeah.
Cool. Monday Night
NFC
Football.
West, man. Legit.
Yeah. Monday Night Football tonight. Chargers, Saints. Only real thing to talk about. And this is interesting because you put it in the rundown. Michael Thomas punched the shit out of his teammate and got suspended tonight. You don't think he was ready?
I don't think he would have played. I think this is the Saints being incredibly crafty. Look, a high ankle sprain takes a long damn time to come back.
Why? What reason is there to lie?
Well, because I think it looks really bad if it comes out that he punched his teammate and then plays the same week. You can't let one of your players punch another teammate and then
I thought
you gotta discipline him somehow.
Ben, I thought you thought like this. You were saying like the Saints like made up him punching his teammate because he wasn't ready.
No.
I was like, what? That's so like extra.
And again, this is like tinfoil hat. Like I'm kind of making things up here, but look, it takes a long time to recover from a high ankle sprain. Like that's just factual. Mm-hmm. Michael Thomas has missed 2 games now? 3?
Played in week 1. That's it.
Okay, yeah. So he missed 3. He's starting to get to that point where it's like it's reasonable for him to come back. Mm-hmm. I think it's the Saints saying like, we're going to discipline Michael Thomas. He's not going to play this game that he totally would have been at 100% for and healthy.
Last week he didn't get scratched until Friday's practice, and this week
again I feel like that's like gamesmanship. And
it's still concerning that your star player punches his teammate. But
bigger concern is, you're the best player on your team just pops some dude in the face.
I don't really know what to make of that, honestly. Like, besides the fact that I shouldn't have fucking drafted him in fantasy. Tuesday Night Football, Ben, you got your wish.
Let's go.
That's gonna be a really good game too. Yeah, Buffalo and Tennessee. I'm really excited for that game.
Could be a violently boring game based on how both these teams like to play, but still should be competitive. Should be fun.
Yeah.
You have 4 guys going. You have half your team playing on this Tuesday night game.
In our league, I have Jonnu Smith because Noah Fant got hurt. I have Josh Allen. I have Derrick Henry.
Year, right?
What?
Fant's out for the year?
No, he's already been because they pushed back the Patriots-Broncos game, which I miss watching my team play football.
Damn.
Because they. It's been a couple of years for you though.
It's been years.
Because they pushed
professional football or basketball game with my team in it in a long time.
Yeah, you don't watch basketball since Melo was there.
Bro, I cannot tell you the last time I watched the Knicks play a professional basketball game. Watched them play basketball, but I haven't watched them play professional basketball.
Yeah, I have half my team going. Go on NFL.com if you want to see what the hell happened to the schedule. I'm not even going to try to explain it because I don't understand it.
I got the notification on my phone and I was trying to read it out to one of the guys I live with, and I was just literally had to zoom in and scroll through the lines. I think they moved all told 11 games.
Yeah, and this is gonna be a nightmare, dude.
I mean,
the NFL.
I tip the hat to Jimmy Butler, to the NBA bubble staff, and to the NFL schedule makers.
Dude, it is just so evident they don't want to add a week 18. And they do not want to
They don't want to push the Super Bowl back.
Yeah, they don't want to push the Super Bowl back. They have no interest. They have no interest in They have no interest in not playing any games, which is fair and it should be. But they do not want to add in week 18, which would probably make things so much easier.
I just don't think that was going to be enough, honestly.
They might have to end up adding one.
I'm not a scheduling guru. I don't know the ins and outs of what goes into this, but that must have taken there can't be a lot of wiggle room in these NFL schedules.
We talked about the Titans getting super lucky last week that they just changed their bye week and that was it.
We've seen, that was. I feel like that's the one situation where the NFL is thank God, all we have to do is move bye week. We've seen it a few times in past years where a game gets late in the season where a game gets moved up or back a day because of a storm or something. Or there was a Broncos game that got moved a couple of years ago because it was a full out blizzard.
They usually end up playing a couple games on a Saturday or something.
Yeah, well, then also the last few weeks of the season, the NFL plays Saturday games anyways. So it's another multi-team outbreak. I think the NFL is in a very, very bad position.
Yeah, it's almost like they should have played in a fucking bubble at some point.
Look, we talked about it. We both had our doubts about how feasible an NFL bubble was.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
They've been able to somewhat handle it up to now, but once more and more teams go on bye each week, that's when shit's going to start hitting the fan.
Yeah.
Our bets real quick. You didn't hit on Jags plus 5.5. Giants and Cowboys.
Giants hit real easy.
They hit in middle third quarter, I think. I picked up my first loss this week. I had Bucks -3 on the Bears. Obviously, Bears won. I had Cardinals -7 on the Jets.
Hey, also, we mentioned the Bears. What is Tom Brady's deal with mediocre quarterbacks?
I don't know, man.
Eli Manning, mediocre. 2-time Super Bowl champion, but he's mediocre. It's just so funny. Not even trying to dig at the Patriots here, Tom Brady, but there are 3 guys that Tom Brady just can't beat. Eli Manning, Nick Foles, and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick was one time, dude.
He's had a few different, not all of them in super consequential, but there have been more than a few times. I was literally reading, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Fitzpatrick was just he's got his number. He outplays him.
So tight. I don't think. Do we see Tua this year?
We've got to.
I don't know, dude. At one point, Fitzpatrick was 20 of 25 with 350 yards and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
I think it's
got to delay it at least another 2
For
weeks.
one, Fitzpatrick is as consummate a veteran as you could possibly have. He's not going to make a stink if he gets benched for Tua. I think inevitably when the Dolphins are out of playoff contention, we'll see Tua. Unless, and this is something that we wouldn't know, but unless Tua is just not ready in the slightest, not even health. He's health because you can't lie about his health. But if he just is not game ready, then he's not game ready.
It's also
Elliot brings up a great point. He did also lose a home playoff game to Mark Sanchez.
They were good that year though.
Was Mark Sanchez good?
He wasn't
The
bad.
Jets were good.
He wasn't bad.
It's just funny. You look at the list of guys that beat Tom Brady in meaningful playoff games.
Also, the thing with Tua too, they have a really bad offensive line, and you look at the Bengals, they had the number 1 overall pick. They took the best player in the draft, in Joe Burrow. They were 100% gonna play him to start the season at all times, right? If
where'd Tua go? 4th, 6th?
He went 4th, but that's a lot different than going number 1 overall.
Is it? Is it really that big a difference? You take a quarterback in the top 10 of the draft?
No, he went above Herbert.
Yeah, it was Tua, or it was Burrow at 1, Tua at 4, Herbert at 10.
Yeah, at 6.
Yeah. 6. Yes, because they traded up.
Yeah. I think 1 is a lot different than 4. And again, who's
the difference?
Okay, but the big difference is
who's the Bengals? Look at the situations that the teams are in.
Let me finish my point, dude. Who's the Bengals backup? Zach Driscoll, right? You don't have a Ryan Fitzpatrick to be okay, you start. We need to improve our offensive line.
You mean the 1 and 3 Ryan Fitzpatrick? Those Dolphins, those guys?
Dude, now 2.
2 and 3.
Same record as the 49ers.
Yeah, fair.
All I'm saying is the Bengals have they have a terrible offensive line, but they have good offensive weapons for Joe Burrow to develop with. The Dolphins have a bad offense, a bad offensive line, and they have Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's okay.
Look, I think the day the Dolphins are eliminated from the playoffs, you got to play Tua.
Maybe. I hope so.
If Fitzpatrick think keeps them afloat in the division, then yeah, you probably don't play Tua. And I don't think it's entirely impossible that the Dolphins. I think it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
But with the extra playoff spot, if the Dolphins are kind of bumping around like, 2-3, maybe they go to 2-4, then 3-4, 4-4. Like if they're kind of just bumping around like at that like 6th, 7th playoff spot and they're in contention, yeah, obviously keep playing Fitzmagic.
Mm-hmm. I hope not. I don't really need to see much more of him. Last bet that hit for me was Steelers -7.5 on the Eagles. Never in doubt. Yes, in doubt the entire
Very
game.
much in doubt.
We got about like 15 minutes left, so let's just go into baseball. Ben, sorry to rehash your pain, but
yeah, and I'm over it at this point.
Yeah, I mean you're used to it. You're used to them underperforming in the playoffs, so
at least they get to the playoffs.
I don't know. Still the last team to make the World Series.
We're not having this argument.
Just saying.
Look, it's literally the worst part is it came down to exactly what I fucking thought it was going to come down to. Is that the Yankees bullpen blinked. Yankees bullpen pitched out of their minds for most of the series, and they blinked.
Yeah.
It's double painful that it was Chapman, triple painful that it was fucking Brasso.
Honestly, it was poetic at that point. Like
the baseball fan in me that I'm locking away to make these points acknowledges that it is kind of cool that it was Brasso that hit the home run. I still think it's absurd to think Chapman threw at his head, but
still, like,
this
teams that do not like each other, like,
yeah. I didn't watch any of the ALCS last night. Like, I don't know how I like.
Oh yeah,
it's
that's
taking
rough.
a lot
to
like even talk about the series. Like, who do I want to see in the World Series? The Rays or the Astros? Who like me at Yankees fans, myself, and like
probably the Rays, man. I don't know, because like
picture like the team you like. Picture the team that like that you've been beefing with all season. Like whoever take the names out. Team you've been beefing with all season. Like you guys hate each other.
Phillies probably, but like
and that also just beat you in the playoffs. And then like literally public enemy number one in all of baseball.
And not only public enemy number one, like they eliminated you guys and they were cheating. That's the thing for you.
Times.
I probably still want Tampa Bay to win because Tampa Bay beat you because they were a better team, right? Houston beat you. They were probably a better team, but they also were cheating. You never
beat us because they were cheating.
No, they were
beat
still
us
better
because they
team.
were cheating. Anyways, going on to the White Sox. No.
Right now, when we're recording, Tampa Bay up 3-0. Margot hit a 3-run shot and then robbed a home run. I'm pretty sure. I still think Tampa Bay is a better team than Houston. I have them still, and I picked them to make the World Series for a reason. But I think the other series is more intriguing.
Yeah, much more intriguing. The thing about the Rays is like this like style of baseball works.
Yeah,
it's been proven to work. Hit timely home runs, have a lockdown bullpen.
What a concept!
What a concept! The Cuban Mookie Betts. Oh my god,
the Cuban Mookie Betts.
Dude, Rosarena is a freak.
I love his name. I love that his name is literally just like
Randy.
Rice Sand. That's what his last name stands for. Rice Sand. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Arroz, rice, arena, sand. Rice sand.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can't not think about that. I don't know.
Randy Rice Sand. I'm start calling him that. Maybe he's gonna be like, remember Mike Stanton?
What about him?
Like, remember when he was Mike Stanton?
No.
You don't remember when Giancarlo Stanton was Mike Stanton?
Was he Mike Stanton? I don't remember this.
Look up Mike Stanton.
I don't want to. That's gonna ring in my nightmares.
When Giancarlo came to the MLB, he went by Mike Stanton.
That's hilarious.
Randy Rosarena in 3 years is gonna be Randy Rice Sand. I'm telling you.
Randy Rice Sand.
I'm so dead. You didn't know he was Mike Stanton?
No, I didn't.
Damn.
Sorry, man.
That's fun. It's just like so rare that like either one of us catch the other one on like something that they just like literally did not know.
Mike Stanton. That's so
Mike
funny.
Stanton, man. Yeah.
Because they couldn't pronounce Giancarlo.
I think he just like used to go by Mike.
Yeah, because they couldn't pronounce Giancarlo.
Like, but I mean, probably when he was like a kid, like when he was.
It's how can
like,
you not
as
pronounce?
A prospect, he was known as Mike Stanton.
How can you not pronounce Giancarlo? Like, it's so easy.
And it says you.
Yeah, but Matias is a harder name to pronounce than Giancarlo.
Weilmann is a lot harder than Matias.
If you say my name,
looks like your name is pronounced like it's spelled.
But like Matias, that makes sense.
Matias is like, yeah, makes sense, but it's like it's a one-time like.
Matias doesn't make sense.
Matias makes no sense. Nolan actually. Nolan's not even in the chat right now. He still spells your name wrong, which cracks me up.
Yeah, hilarious.
Not like your name's right there. Oh, come on, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, hilarious.
If you're still at
I
this
love.
point, if you're butthurt about people spelling your name wrong, like
no, you know what I do get butthurt about, and this isn't just me because it's like my name. Anyone that has any sort of like non-conventional American name that is mispronounced, I guess, when people write my name wrong on like Facebook or like email or Instagram or something, and my name is right fucking there, that's what pisses me off because like you're just not paying attention right
no, exactly.
now. Real quick, wrapping up. Before we just talk about what we think is going to happen, Braves Dodgers. Renteria's gone in Chicago with the White Sox. Made the
not
playoffs.
a surprise. Not a surprise.
If you look
Classic,
at it, you're like,
well,
continue. Classic.
go. Classic situation where it's like a team like got it together a lot faster than they were expecting to.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, all right, we need like a postseason qualified manager.
Yep.
The question is, AJ Hinch, Alex Cora, like, do you already go back to one of the Astros guys?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you can like from a PR standpoint, like they're gonna have to have some real internal conversations about like Cora. I think is a safer hire. I think the Red Sox probably want Cora right back.
Is he a safer hire? Because he was the mastermind. Like
he was. Are either one of them safer hires? Like.
No, but
Cora was more Cora. Okay, I say safer hire. Cora was the one who more recently had a job.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Cora was the mastermind. AJ was the guy in charge of the team. But
I guess
like,
you're kind of like I kind of walking around point back here. Like I wouldn't want either of them.
Coaches have done worse and gotten hired, right? Like,
but the year, like literally as soon as they get back, especially on like a young team.
But there's no denying they're both good coaches.
Oh, they're great coaches.
You're the White Sox, and like you kind of clear it with your team and your star players. Like you fired. Well,
it's got to start with like ownership because like they're going to be the ones who are going to have to like spin it and deal with the PR and deal with the publicity, the media, and everything.
I mean, you fire Renteria because you want someone that can manage the bullpen better. That was the knock on him, and you want someone.
Although to be fair, it's not like the White Sox had like a great bullpen.
No.
It's like the same people who like bashed Aaron Boone's bullpen usage. I'm like,
well, I forgot to ask this when we were talking about the Yankees. Like, people are like, "Yo, I want Aaron Boone out." Like, right?
Jake Shelley, if you're listening, you're bugging. Aaron Boone did the J. Happ Davey decision was like weird and like didn't really work out well. It also didn't work out well because they both got tagged. Like, there's a difference between like moves not working or like going for the most part
being a stupid move.
Exactly. Like, if Davey obviously did not have his best stuff through 30 pitches in the first inning. Like, J. Happ is not who I want starting a game in October, but like, who else are you going to throw?
Yeah.
Aroldis Chapman gave up the game-winning home run. Like, who else are you going to pitch there?
Yeah. No,
the Yankees lineup outside of Stanton wasn't hitting. What are you going to do?
It was literally a team that was built to hit, and that was how they were going to win, was to hit home runs and to score lots of runs, and they couldn't against a very good pitching staff.
Well, that is that they couldn't. Is that in Game 5 they couldn't?
Yeah. Okay.
Their offense really wasn't the issue.
No. But in the deciding game, they couldn't. Against a very good pitching staff, starters, and bullpen.
Yeah. Look what they did against the Indians. Whatever.
But going back to Renteria, you fire him because you want someone that can handle your bullpen, something that Hinch and Cora have proven they can do. And they said they want to hire someone because there are better people available and because they want someone with championship experience. They also fired their bullpen coach as well. You look at Cora and Hinch,
which means
like
nothing to you or I or a casual baseball fan.
What? They want someone with championship experience.
Fire
the bullpen
coach. Yeah.
I know. But like, you want to hire someone with championship experience. Cora and Hinch, I don't know if they're the top candidates, but they're the first two names that come up. I haven't heard anyone else. I mean, this happened a couple hours ago,
Yeah, it's just like I really think it's going to come down to, they're going to have like real serious conversations internally in the front office and as well as like with their players and with their like coaches still on the staff. Like, organizationally, are you cool with bringing in guys who were directly tied to the whole Astros deal?
Yeah.
Recently. This is not years ago. This is a season ago.
Yeah,
also, you got to remember that like all the animosity that was supposed to be their like, punishment from the league, fuck you, Rob Manfred, didn't come. They still got to play in front of fans.
There are going to be fans for the Braves Dodgers series. Yep. I don't think there aren't fans, I don't think, for the Rays series.
No.
But like next season, I fully
California
expect,
versus Texas. Think about that one.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, Miami, in college football on Saturday, I think they were at full capacity. So were the Dolphins on Sunday.
No, the Dolphins didn't go full capacity. They
No,
went like
okay.
12K, I
So
think.
it's just University of Miami. I'm pretty sure they were full
Well, the
capacity.
state struck down all their COVID
Yeah.
requirements because it's over, by the way. COVID's ended. All done. We're good.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, so I can't find a job in live sports because I'm bad at my job?
Yes.
Damn.
And ugly.
That was just me. That was rude.
You made the first comment.
Yeah.
Are we not just going down the rabbit hole? Like,
well, should we end the show before we go down the rabbit hole?
Or start a different show? You know, Cam Gasmer roasted my life.
What do you say?
We were filming something for our ASP group, and I don't know how we ended up in the script, but he roasted myself. He murdered me. It was pretty funny, actually.
So you're not gonna tell me what he said? You're just gonna?
Well, I literally don't remember. It was like I didn't watch him. He like filmed it and just like put it in the video. You'll find out. Actually, you might have. I can see if I can find the link.
Okay, yeah, send it to me. I'll watch that. Then probably not enough. I think we've reached the end of the line here. Officially,
we got a huge mailbag to get to.
Well, this is a good sign. Like it's not just me. Just no one wanted to respond to yours today.
I don't know. And like maybe it was like too much text in the thing.
Guys, let us know. Let us know why you hate our mailbag.
Send us mailbag about why you don't send us mailbag.
Monday morning blues, man, got us down.
Is there anything we're missing? Did I get to all the numbers I wanted to get to earlier?
I think we've talked about enough.
Lakers finished their season 57-0 when they entered the fourth quarter with the lead, including the playoffs.
Pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive. LeBron and MJ are the only guys in NBA history with 4 regular season MVPs and 4 more regular season and finals MVPs. If there's one point you take away from this episode,
LeBron James is very good at basketball. He's been doing it for a very long time.
I was going to get similar point. There are only 2 people in the conversation for GOAT.
Yep.
It starts and ends with LeBron and MJ. No one else has a stake at that crown. Absolutely no shot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
I wonder if this will actually.
I'll put thumbs up. Okay. Yeah, we've definitely reached the end of the line here. We'll be back on Thursday, time to be announced, discussing the week that's coming up in football and what we just saw Monday Night Football and Tuesday Night Football. Of course, you can listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Anchor, wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube or on our IGTV. Let us know what you think. Rate us 5 stars. Subscribe. The whole shebang.
Don't rate us 5 stars if you don't mean it, though.
No, you can rate us 5 stars even if you don't mean it.
No, I want honesty. I want honesty from our listeners.
Okay, Ben wants honesty. I just want 5 stars.
Matias just wants the clout. That's crazy.
That's for sure. I'm a cloud chaser. Ben, always a pleasure. I will see you later in the week.
I was looking for my cloud goggles. Damn. So long.